We want you to be safe in the lab. Here are 10 common lab safety questions, and we have the answers.
What we're in the lab?
You should wear a lab coat in the lab, but I have an apron here.
How do I smell chemicals?
Normally, you will not need to smell a chemical, but if you do, you will gently whiff its vapor or fan it towards you, like this. Gently fan the vapor towards you.
You know what, that's too cringy. How do you mix acid and water?
When diluting acid solutions, always add the acid to the water slowly. Never add water to an acid.
What is unsafe lab behavior?
There are a lot of ways to be unsafe in the lab. You may not even know you're being unsafe. Here are some examples of unsafe lab behavior. Now those were some very unsafe situations, but to keep you safe in the lab, I'm going to read some basic laboratory rules to keep you safe. Never perform an unauthorized experiment or change any assigned experiment without the teacher's permission. Follow all Like I was saying, never perform an experiment without a teacher's permission. Follow all experiment directions carefully and exactly. Avoid playful, distracting, or boisterous behavior. Do not use personal technology unless it is required for the lab activity. Work at your own lab station. Do not wander around or socialize during lab experiments. Always wear safety goggles. Always wear safety goggles when working with chemicals. Wear protective clothing like a lab coat. Tie long hair back and avoid wearing loose clothing or ties. Never eat or drink or chew gum in a laboratory. Never taste any chemical or drink out of lab glassware. To smell a substance, gently fan its vapor towards you. Never leave a flame or heater unattended. Keep combustible materials away from flame or heat source. Use appropriate hand protection when working with hot glassware or heat sources. Remember that hot glass does not look hot. When diluting acid, always add acid to water slowly. Never add water to acid, like I told you earlier. When heating a substance in a test tube, point the open end away from yourself and others. Never heat a closed or stoppered container. Place solid trash in a designated container and pour liquid waste into a designated waste container. Do not return unused chemicals to a bottle. Dispose of them properly and notify a teacher about any injuries or chemical spills. Is there any other questions?
What do I do if I break glassware?
First of all, notify your lab teacher and then have it cleaned up accordingly. If you get cut, it's important to have a first aid kit, which all labs should have. And if you get a cut, use the first aid kit.
How would I treat burns?
It depends on the burn. Minor heat burns, you need to cool the area with water or ice, wrap it in a cloth. If blistering occurs, wrap it in a bandage. If it is a chemical burn, you will need to flush the area with water or a neutralizer. Remove contaminated clothing and then seek medical attention for significant burns or allergic reaction, or if it was a very harsh chemical.
What do I do if I get chemicals in my eyes?
If you get chemicals in your eyes, you will need to flush them out for at least 15 minutes. If you have contact lenses, remove them after you have rinsed your eyes for several minutes, and then seek medical attention.
What do I do if there's a fire and my clothes catch on fire?
Small fires in the lab, you can use a fire blanket or a container. For larger blankets, for larger fires, not blankets, for larger fires, you will need to evacuate the lab room if you can do so safely. And when in doubt, call the fire department. Smother clothing and stop, drop, and roll to extinguish flames on clothing. I hope with these tips you can learn to be safe in the lab. Bye.